Hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sportscars. Back in the workshop. It's been so sunny out there, we've just been doing test drives. It's great fun, but let's show you what's going on with this. This is a RX-5 build, so it's the MK RX-5, all Mazda running gear. If you've not tuned in before or seen us, I'll talk you through what it is, so you give you a feel. You think, I want to build one of them. Well, take an MX-5 Mark II or Mark 2.5, so that's 98 to 2005. Our chassis now running gear that rests it up builds into one of these cars really. But where we are with this particular one, so we stripped all the donor parts, reconditioned them all, shot blasted, powder coated, whatever we needed to do. And I'll start at the front end here. So all of the corners, these are the Mazda uprights, has a new bearing carrier on these. So they come as a sealed unit, already done, with the studs in. We've reconditioned the calipers, all powder coated, and then all our front wishbones and assembly is our AA arm wishbone with the inboard push rod suspension all linked up. Bolted onto each corner here, so we've got the wing stays that we try and make. These are pretty strong actually, bolting off of the top caliper bolt and the main bottom universal joint there, which is still the Mazda one we use, and we use our own one here, an M14 up the top to make the fitment, because you can't use the standard Mazda one. This then links up into a headlight bracket as our lens and indicator for IVA compatibility, and then the steering rack, which is bolted in here. This is a 2.4, so 2.4 full lock to lock on this. So it's quite a quick rack really. For the road, certainly wouldn't want much quicker. I would have thought we do a 2.2, but that's more racetrack orientated, but a 2.4 rack on there. And then on here we've got the nice drilled and grooved and vented. So these are standard Mazda discs that we use with these calipers, and you can upgrade these to a wheelwood with 4-pot brake if you want, but these are more than sufficient for stopping this car, because we're talking just over 500 kilos, whereas the Mazda's what? Just over a ton. So it's half the weight, plenty of braking power for a non-servo assisted system. Moving along, under here it's hidden unfortunately, but is the Protec aluminium shock absorbers onto our rocker system. You can see it from the inside there. With our spring poundage, we use a 325 pound spring on these particular setups, and then we do different things with the suspension for depending on it's track or road orientated. Got a nice big 70mm core radiator on here, especially as we're going turbo, which we'll talk about in a minute, and our front mount intercooler with all our bracketry that we laser cut, and it allows us to mount down here the intercooler, and also for its ducting. It's a ducting kit that pushes it all through here, so it helps duct through here, and then we put this particular top mount in because the air filter will sit in this area, so it just gives it a bit of a cold air intake and stops the process of the warm air getting to it. We've got exactly the same on the other corner that's designed for the same setup for the Mazda setup, and you can see it's all reconditioned and done. Now moving along into the engine bay. So engine done about 80 something thousand miles, but it was refreshed. We checked it all, compression tested it all new seals and gaskets right the way through. It's got an uprated down in here. We've got an uprated clutch and a lightened flywheel in there as well. It really does help these engines where it's such a lightweight car, where you're not worried about motorway cruising, where you want to maintain speeds with the heavier flywheel. We want this thing to rev up and be quite nice and loose for this lightweight sports car. We want it to pick up the RPM. So we've got that mated to a standard Mazda 5-speed gearbox on this. You can use the 6-speed or the 5-speed's more than sufficient for this. Mounted here we've got our manifold for a turbo, which is, this turbo is a TDO4 13T. So that's the smaller turbo. We can do a 19T, but for stock internals, which this is a stock engine, we'll aim to run maximum probably 12 psi on this. Should give us in the region of, we normally aim for about 230 horsepower. It'd probably be just over 200 foot-pounds of torque. But again, when you're mapping these in stock, you don't want too much low down torque. You start bending rods and things like that. But as long as you map them right, then it will take it all day long. It will take a right old beating. These are great little engines. We haven't done a reroute kit, which you can do. We've kept it standard. Sometimes you can do it, but it's going to be a road car. It's not focused on track, this one. We've got to link up the pipe works here and that for the header tank, but all of that's done. The engine's been done. We've powder coated, shot blasted. All the plenum's been done. In here, just a tuck down, is the injectors. We've got a 640cc EV14 injectors in now. And then we've got all the throttle cable linked up here. It's a nice short cable. It's only a metre long. Gives it a nice feel. Linked to our billet pedal box, which is down here. So you've got a nice spring return, It's nice feel to it. You've got a spring up here, but also a spring on the pedal box, so these work. They're not lazy at all on their return. And again, you've got your bias adjustable billet pedal box. Steering column, it's all your Mazda stuff that we modify. There's a part section we modify off the bottom here, and then we lengthen the steering rod, which is this part here. It's a collapsible part, which is for IVA, so you need that in there. And on the other side, moving round, we move round off of the exhaust system coming off here. This is our link pipe that we have. This is designed for right-hand drive vehicles only. It doesn't fit a left-hand drive. It's a different one for that. It's a bit more tricky to fit, but you dust the right-hand drive one. That sits in the same hole as if you're running the standard exhaust system. So what's going to be powering and running it all is going to be the Motorsport Electronics 360 ECU. That comes with a brand new loom, and it's got all our auxiliary loom, brand new one, all wired in. And then we just got the map sensor, and we've got with things like this, which are the battery leads just putting in there as well, all loose. Got things like this, which is the oil pressure gauge. We've got running 2 separate engine. We run in that off of just under here. Under the plenum is a 1/8 MPT takeoff. We put that into there, and then we run the sump. We run the temperature in the sump just to give us a bit more accurate reading. Cooler lines, brake lines, all that's done through. And then in here, just this boot cover that will be fitted next. We've got the prop shaft and the Mazda, which we take and modify and shorten as an exchange service with you as the customer with a handbrake. All done. Now we've fitted the side panels and the rear colour, a rear tub on this particular one now with the side seals in this really nice blue. Actually, we've not done blue. What do you think, guys? Thumbs up? Do you like it? I fitted every time we bottle panel on, we're like that. It's going to have black corners. I think it's going to look quite striking, actually, the blue and the black. It's going to come out really nice. It is gel coat. It's not painted, so it's very durable. You ain't got to worry about painting. If you damage a panel, we can replace it in the same colour. And it's just mounted here. You've got 2 bolts we use here. You get a couple of options on doing this. We put riv nuts in, only because if you damage a wing, you can take it off and put it back on easier. And just the large head rivets to hold it on in that section. You've got exhaust silencer in. This is 6-inch silencer here. More than compatible, only about 93, 94 decibels. So very, 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 very quiet, actually. But decibels for IVA is 99, so it's well under that. Not a problem at all. Moving on to the rear, if you haven't seen before, we've got independent suspension on the rear. Completely, it's our bespoke system with the Mazda diff and the Mazda rear uprights. So the Mazda diff, we've put the bracing in. Here, it's strengthened. It's known for cracking on this point just there that's got the big splodge in. We don't have any issues once they're welded up at all. You've got the fuel filter off your Mazda and the fuel pump we use off the Mazda as well, mated to our tank that we use. Standard Mazda drive shafts, they're all in, they're reconditioned. In fact, that's a brand new one. I think we've got some brand new shafts in stock at the moment. If you're looking for brand new drive shafts, we've got about 4 or 5 of those in stock. And then recondition the rear brakes, brand new discs, rear new, these have been shot blasted, powder coated, new bushes and new bearings in there. And of course our go-to supplier, Protect shocks, all in there. And we run a 250-pound spring on the rear. Now we've got a high roll bar. We do 2 options. We do this bar and we do a slightly lower one that drops just under here. This is a taller bar that is basically the rear of our roll cage. So, and we put all the fixes in for the roll cage if you want to bolt them at a later date. It's not a problem. So the rear end's all together, all the fuel lines, brake lines, and we've even put the fuel filler cap in here as well, which is nice and neat and tidy, angled into the top of the tank with the tank strap. So it's making sure when you're doing this, making sure everything's nice and tight, nothing's going to move, nothing's going to move around. Make sure that it's within 300 mil every sort of fixing point maximum. We tend to basically go a thing that's just over 200 we try to stick to. Any wiring, cables, fuel lines, all of that, make sure they're all in those fixing points. And we've got these little saddle bushes in to hold the loom. So if you don't want to get to it, you can cut the cable tie, take it out, fix it, put it all back together. So that's all in. And then finally we'll be putting in the boot cover, which is this one. It's a nice carbon one that we do. Fits over the roll cage, nice and neat. That'll be going on next. Got the holes marked in, ready for it all. That's a fit with some poppers. That'll be nice and easy to do. And then it's really fitting the rest of the body panels, and then we'll be on with the coolant lines and the intercooler lines next. So yeah, she's coming together really, really nicely actually. And I'm really a big fan of this blue. We wasn't sure, we've not done one. every panel that gets bolted on, as I said, I really, really enjoy it. And then its rear wings have been done, just doing the light pack on them as well. So this one's going to be out for sale though. So you could be the first owner and proud owner of this car. It's going to be 230 horsepower at least, I would have said on this particular one, depending on what boost setting we put in it. Dashboard's all done here. It's all done, ready, packed up in here. That's all done, and we're just going to be putting in an oil pressure gauge and oil temperature gauge in there. That's all ready to mount and fixed up. All the fixing's done for it, running the standard clocks and the columns. So yeah, if you're interested in this or building an RX-5 at home, because you can build this kit at home. Here's one here. Let me show you. Don't want to do it on its own, but there's one just there. Customer's built it. We've just done some ticking boxes on it. Really nice build, fully finished car, and it's only IVA'd the other day, first time pass. So cracking little build. This could be in your garage, ready for springtime or summer. So hook us up with phone call, email. Come and see us at the factory. I'd love you to come and see, maybe be intricate part of this if you want to get involved in it. And we could talk to you what the build is, the prices and everything else, the specifications and what we're doing. So yeah, that's it. If you're interested in RX-5, you know what to do, guys. Pick up the phone, give us a shout, drop us down here. Love to see you. Failing that, we've got an open day. If this video goes out in time, on Saturday the 10th of May, and you can come and see it in the flesh. Right, that's it. I'm exhausted. I'm going to get back to work. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to catch you next time.